The following podcast contains some strong language and some very average opinions. Any references to actual people are wildly inaccurate. It's probably best if you don't listen at all. The Roaring Peacock Podcast. Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock maincast. The week began fittingly for this week's theme, as Christmas came early for the Whites, with the club hitting the choral notes, sign, Hosanna, sign, Hosanna, sign, Hosanna to United of Leeds. The fullback on loan at Bradford signed a one-year extension. A jubilant Gianni Alioski burst into a post-match press conference, stood on a chair and wailed with glee as North Macedonia qualified for the Euros for the first time in their history, as Liam Cooper celebrated his Scotland side's first Euros since 1996. This is what international football should be about. Playoff finals, meaningful competition. But while it was joy for Cooper and Alioski, it was heartbreak for Stuart Dallas, who was given the honour of captaining Northern Ireland in Vienna, but that was bare consolation. Still, better than having to watch England. The Premier League scrapped PPV, announcing that all games would be broadcast over the Christmas period. If they bring PPV back in the future, the least they could do would be to give us our money's worth. How about a cage fight between Stan Collymore and Graham Smith?
Well, he's already qualified against Ulrika.
Yeah, he's got some history, Stan. Be careful of Graham.
Patrick Bamford was voted PFA Fans Player of the Month for September and October after scoring 8 goals in 8 games. Oh, sorry. What's that, Mike Dean? Sorry, 7 goals in 8 games, giving Leeds fans a chance to vote for something may have affected the outcome. We're sure the award will take pride of place in Bamford Manor, on the mantelpiece in Award Room 2 on the East Wing, in between the horse jumping and violin trophies. And in non-Leeds related news, the odyssey of the Odyssean project, Dominic Cummings, came to an end with him goings. Whether it was breaking his own lockdown rules to test his eyesight, pointing the tiller towards no deal and throwing a brick on the accelerator pedal, or flying in the face of leading virologists in suggesting a callously reckless herd immunity strategy, he will not be missed. Finally, reality folded in on itself as the unelected bureaucrat left number 10 after his plan to rid the country from unelected bureaucrats only left us with 2020. The year will remember that oven-ready deal popped out of the oven and burnt us all to death.
He is the Findus crispy pancake of unelected bureaucrats.
That thin, crispy pancake slithering away with his little box. Speaking of fearing for the safety and well-being of the general population, we fear for the safety and well-being of Radio 1 DJ Jordan North after he described Turf Moor as his happy place. Oof. The poison has clearly entered his brain. He might not be a celebrity, but he needs to get the fuck out of there. In good news, the Yorkshire Ripper died.
Yay!
Vacating a small space for Simon O'Rourke.
Well, no chance he's going to come on the pod now, is there?
Who has been arrested, according to people on Twitter, who, as we know, never lie.
Oh, exciting.
Okay. Deadpool and Rob McElhenney have bought Wrexham, sending this pod's first guest, Bryn Law, into Cloud 9, while Donald Trump unwittingly tagged a Leeds United fan in another week of bizarre tweets. And we launched probably the most important news story of the week. We launch All Elves Aren't We, our plan to bring Christmas presents to the children of LS11 in association with Slung Low, and Ewan Metcalf will be on the pod in a little bit to talk about that and how you can help us out and get involved. So my name is Adonis. You're You know me as the Adelites, and resident Riot Badger Alex is joining us.
Hey, lads.
And our man on the post, Ross.
Hello.
So we've had a week off, and I needed it. I slept for 3 days. How are you guys?
Not bad. I had an interesting week at work, but apart from that, yeah, it's been good. No Leeds games to ruin my mood for 90 minutes, so a couple of days after that as well. Apparently England played.
I didn't even notice.
Who knew?
I didn't feel a thing. Honestly, cannot be asked. I saw that clip of Grealish doing a nice flick over or something. Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Cool.
He got kicked in it as well and didn't go immediately to the ground, so I don't know what's happened.
Somebody must have had a word.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I thought that were out of his game before they played us, and then he was just all over the shop. So
Yeah. No, it's weird. If Cameron's not playing, I don't care.
He enjoys the earth. He likes to give it a hug.
Or if yeah.
My name
is Jack Grealish.
I enjoy the earth and all it offers me.
He goes down again. Hello, sweet friend. I've missed you.
My happy place, turf.
I don't know why I've turned him into a very, very posh sounding individual.
No, if he's going to turn to hippie, like the hippie lifestyle, and he's happy with the earth and stuff, he's going to change his accent, is he? He can't be a Brummie hippie.
No.
We've really got to do something about climate change.
God. Yeah, they definitely need to do something about climate change in Birmingham. Hi, Birmingham fans.
Yeah.
You shit city, full of smog.
Nobody's listening in Birmingham, I don't think. If you are listening in Birmingham...
How did you get an internet connection? And
give us a review.
Yeah. My name's @RiotBadger. Please mention.
So the one thing I didn't mention in the weekly roundup was the Calvin Phillips mural, and we've just heard him on Twitch saying somebody came into his room, slagging him off, and he's saying, "I'm important, mate. Don't you know I've got a mural?"
I love it.
It's so good though. It's such a good bit of art.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
The thing is, imagine when he leaves.
Yeah.
for scum.
Yeah. God,
don't.
That property will just go down in value by millions.
Someone will burn it down immediately, I think, wouldn't they?
Sorry, my pessimism hasn't gone in this week off, have it? 'Cause it's like, imagine when Calvin Phillips leaves. Are you feeling better, everyone? Hi.
It'd be weird, that, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be weird? You're driving around town, and then all of a sudden, boom!
There's yourself.
Your face.
Yeah.
Your big mug. Especially now with Movember going on. Look at this fucking shit.
Great. If you just listen to the podcast, you need to get on YouTube, check out Adonis's his mustache he's got going on.
My sexy porn mustache.
It's like he should be driving an El Camino with a Confederate flag in the back.
Hello, I've come to fix the Camino.
My name's Adonis, and I'm here to fix the El Camino.
Don't worry, I'm native born.
I've not even heard of Vienna. Vienna, Texas? There probably is a Vienna, Texas.
Yeah, down to it.
The mural it looks awesome, but I think they've picked the right players to do it for, because he's not the type to be get an ego about it. I think he's still going to be pretty down to earth. To be honest, most of this crop are, to be fair. I don't think there's any egotistical players. I think if you put Alioski up on the wall, I think he'd go mental about him, run around like chicken. But or play a drum or scream on top of his voice on top of a chair. But yeah, it is nice to see that good quality art is going up around the city related to the club. So it's good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's just such high quality as well. It's ridiculous. I can't even draw. Someone's done that on the side of the building. It's mad.
So we've had a little bit of time now away from those back-to-back 4-1 defeats. Do we feel a little bit more optimistic, positive?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, that last game, it just kind of got away from us, didn't it? Big time. I don't think it wasn't a 4-1 game, unfortunately. They scored from a corner, a free kick, a man wide open in the box, and I can't remember the other goal. The own goal, which is a fluke own goal as well. So, yeah, Arsenal next, easy.
Liam Cooper versus Aubameyang.
No problem. No problem at all. 4:30 on a Sunday as well. That's a weird time for a football game.
Yeah. 2020, the weirdest thing is a 4:30 football game. I'll give you that. I don't know if I'm positive, but to be fair, I wasn't too negative about losing a couple of games. It's just the manner of the defeat. It's 4-1. I think the second one, like you said, Ross, that's not a 4-1 defeat, but it still was.
Yeah, it still counts, doesn't it, unfortunately.
It still counts as a 4-1 defeat. But yeah, I'm confident about us giving Arsenal a game. I don't think we'll get dicked by Arsenal. So
yeah, I don't think they're fine, aren't they? They either win or they lose. They don't draw. They've not drawn this season. They've scored 9, conceded 10. I mean, it's going to be a good game because they try to play football, so they won't just going to sit back and counter like Palace and Leicester did. They'll try and get at us, which is when we play best. But yeah, the Aubameyang and Lacazette and maybe Pepe against our defenders is slightly worrying.
I'll be interested to see if Rodrigo's involved in any way because he's returned back to training now.
Yeah.
So that's assuming that he's tested negative for COVID. His lung capacity hasn't reduced to 13%. So hopefully we might have our record signing back because I think that's who we've been missing the last 2 games. We've been missing that guy. We've been missing Calvin, but I think we still smashed Villa without Calvin. And then when Rodrigo's out, we seem to not have that creativity going forward. So I'm happy to see him back if he's back.
I did read something about if you get COVID, you're suffering from fatigue for weeks to months to even 6 months or a year afterwards.
Oh, good.
So I'm really hoping that if Rodrigo's back, then he can at least run a bit, do more than Adam Forshaw.
Yeah, poor Adam Forshaw.
Yeah, I saw that he was in a meeting of the foundation on a Zoom call. I thought that's nice of him getting back active in the club in some capacity.
Yeah,
but, late fitness test, he'll miss the next one.
I hope he didn't get injured too badly.
Adam Forshaw knee is a doubt for the next Zoom call. All jokes aside, I think he's a good player, and I think we do miss that sort of it brings the tempo down in the middle of the field, calms everything down, puts his foot on the ball sort of player in the middle of the field. Like if we'd have had that sort of person against in the last game against Palace, I think it'd have done us a lot of good. Yeah,
there was no. I didn't really know where Struijk was playing. Was he the holder? Because he was in there half an awful lot of the time, and Click was kind of floating between the 8 and the 10, and it just looked a really unbalanced side. I'm not sure kind of what we were going for, really.
Nah.
The thing with Forshaw was I felt like he was more of a squad player, let's put it that way. Like he didn't blow me away with his talent or anything. But then I think he got injured and then he came back. And I think it was the start of the centenary season.
At the start of last year,
he was actually
really good, wasn't
he? He was flying. He looked like he'd really improved. And then snap, that's when he got injured.
Yeah, over a year now, and kind of no real signs that he's ever going to come back, unfortunately.
Basically doing a Ewan and O'Kane, isn't he? Lad will never play again. Yeah, exactly.
I just want to very briefly touch upon this because we kind of hinted at it in the news feed. Yeah. So can I just get a reminder of Simon O'Rourke? Because this is a big topic, isn't it?
Yeah.
He used to have a blog, didn't he?
Yeah.
So 2,900 miles.
Yeah.
And then, do you want to continue this story, Alex?
Me?
I feel like
I don't have any authority on the subject. I've met him once, but some friends of mine have been on the wrong end of Simon O'Rourke by their generosity being taken advantage of, to the point that money from good people has gone to dishonest aims. That's all I'll say, because I don't want any sort of liable case.
Yeah.
There was a GoFundMe put up for him, and he used that to run off to Spain, owing people money. He robbed people's beer. He's robbed people's money. They'd taken their generosity for a ride, basically. And the news this week is that he's been arrested. There's been a warrant out for his arrest, and he's been arrested and he's in jail. So hopefully justice is served. I've got to be really careful what I say because I don't want to say anything out of turn. But he's gained money and generosity from Leeds fans dishonestly, and that the problem with that is that it stops people from being generous in the future. So people who are genuinely in need will probably think twice about it because of the experience that they've had with Simon O'Rourke. So it's his fault.
I never really had any dealings with him, to be honest. I knew him as this guy on Twitter, and he came up with loads of stories about David Haig as well, didn't he? Kind of after all the money thing happened, he started saying he was working with David Haig and he wasn't getting paid.
He was working in his hotel,
right?
Of which he trashed. And then there was loads of money laundering going. I don't know all the facts with this. So allegedly, loads of shit went on in Cornwall at his hotel, which is fucked up because, like, if you're saying that David Haig's your enemy and he owes you money and all this and talking shit about it, and I need more money so I can fight David Haig in court, why are you working for him? Why are you giving a statement for him in court in David Haig's thing? He was shown to be an unreliable witness. Oh, imagine my shock in court for when David Haig was in. Just, it's a nest of vipers, all that horse thing. And it's just like when people are in bed with each other, and not literally, I'm not making any sort of inferment there. When people are all like backhanders and people have got things on other people and you owe me money and I owe you money and I'll say this, and it's just fucking tiresome. We all want to support a football club and we're all a community and we're a fucking fantastic community, which we'll find out at 7:30. It's why take advantage of people who are just trying to do good, and karma's a bitch, basically.
Yep, I couldn't have said it better myself. So I feel like we've done that topic now.
You might want to cut some of this out, actually.
For the Christmas rival episode.
He's not taking any money off me, and I've not lost. I donated to the GoFundMe, but people lost a lot more money than I did putting that in, and I'm angry for them.
Yeah.
It's like good friends of mine have been hurt by this.
Yeah,
like,
did it out of good faith.
It's not just the money. People can write off the money. It's just money. You can earn more. It's the trust that you've given somebody. People have opened the wallets and the homes to this guy, and he's taken advantage. So he can go get fucked.
Story that he was tweeting out constantly.
Oh dear.
That sums it up.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. We'll take a short commercial break.
I mean, there's nothing good that can come out of that other than, once bitten, twice shy, and be very careful about what people are saying online. For example, a new vaccine. I mean, this is totally off topic, but there's a new vaccine coming, and it's 95%. We talked about the one last week with Stan Collymore and Graham Smith tweeting out "Scientista."
Genius.
And this week there's one that's 95%. I don't know if that is up to Dr. Collymore's high standards yet. But if you look at some of the things that are written online, I mean, I just think that people need to be a bit more humble. From my perspective, and I don't know anything about vaccines really, or the monitor that I'm looking at, or how smartphones work, or space rockets. They're all like, they're curiosities. They're like magic. They're like somebody's, like some little wizards in a box somewhere have come up with it, and I've got no idea how it works, but it does. And I think that there are other people who also have absolutely no idea how it works, but for some reason they've got a very strong opinion.
What gets me about just one last thing on Simon O'Rourke right before I shut the fuck up. So the upshot of that and the result of it is that people attacked the people that tried to help him by setting up the GoFundMe. Oh, you're part of it, you're in on it, and you're trying to make money and stuff like that. Somebody just tries to do good. So, I'd already been trust ripped away by Simon, and then being attacked by people on Twitter who just see suspicion in everything that they want to do. They see a conspiracy in everything they want to do. And that's exactly the same as the vaccine stuff. So people will say that there's a chip in it that they're going to inject into me so they can track me from wherever I am. You'd have to get an army to get a vaccine into me. Tweeted from my iPhone. Fucking idiots. You've already got a device in your hand that you carry everywhere that you go, which can be triangulated to within feet. And don't ask me how I know that. And so that can you are tracked wherever you go. Not to the fact that you check in every fucking where that you go. I'm at McDonald's. Don't get me on my soapbox, for fuck's sake.
I mean, how important must you be? Must you think you are? Or how important must you think you are to other people to worry about any of that? Yeah. I literally couldn't care less. Who knows where I am, to be honest?
Yeah.
Or certainly not the people who are in a position to be able to do it. I'm more worried about the people who don't have the money or brains to be able to track me.
But, you know...
We've gone fucking way off track
okay,
here.
So just talking about virus then. So apparently virus was transmitted by 5G, right? So why didn't they just transmit the tracking chip by 5G as well? Why do you need a vaccine to put the chip into you?
Yeah, just transmit the vaccine through 5G. My wife works for a phone company, and the people that are burning masts are the actually scum of the earth. She hates them.
Yeah.
Messing with their business.
Most of the masts that they're burning aren't 5G.
No.
So
yeah. So charity, anyway.
Yeah, segueing into helping other people and not being jaded by people stealing your money. So if you'd like to find our Just Giving page.
I was wondering how we tie it in.
Just like that.
Well, yeah, the thing is with us, so, I mean, we're going to talk about it when Ewan comes on anyway, but we've linked it. We've linked it to an actual registered charity that's in a building somewhere that you can go to and you can see it. Look, it's there, you know, and that's the big difference between Simon O'Rourke or fucking 5G viruses, you know, or Canon, or God knows what other conspiracy theories there are out there. The EU stealing me fish or whatever. Yeah. If you can't see it, if you can't smell it, if you can't touch it, if it's not there, then it's probably not fucking there. You know, you can have your beliefs about God and everything. That's something spiritual. That's different. But why are you bringing beliefs into shit that doesn't even, like, there's no logical, there's no spirituality there at all. There's no reason to conjure that up into existence and then spread it to everybody else. Doesn't make any sense.
And the people that are saying that they won't take a vaccine are probably more likely to be out snorting something up the nose that's been mixed in a disused oil barrel in Venezuela.
I mean, there's only a few conspiracies that make sense. Okay, so 1975, Leeds won the European Cup, right? That makes sense to me.
There's evidence towards that, though.
Video evidence. And then afterwards, the referee caught up in all sorts of shenanigans.
Go on then, what's some more?
So, yeah.
Nelson Mandela died in prison. We know that. That's true. Documented
Paul McCartney is dead. He got replaced.
Yeah, Paul McCartney was replaced with a guy called Billy Shears. What else is there?
Really?
Oh my! Is this educate Adonis section now? Do you not?
I'm skeptical. Do
you not know the whole conspiracy that Paul McCartney was replaced?
I know the conspiracy.
All right, okay.
I'm not willing to say that it's 100% true.
No, neither is Nelson Mandela. That's the whole Mandela.
Yeah, well,
effect.
that's what I mean. Well, I was trying to form a list of conspiracies that are true. Yeah, okay. that at least make sense.
Okay.
So, European Cup 1975, we won that. They robbed us. 73, the Cup Winners' Cup against AC Milan. That's another one we should have won.
Yep.
They're the two conspiracies that I'm aware of.
The world's flat, obviously, as well, that one.
Yeah, easily provable by two sticks, but yeah, sure.
Right? Yeah. I mean, we could get into shape-shifting reptilian lizards, but I mean, where do you draw the line?
There's a whole other avenue for the podcast here, I think.
Yeah. Our guest today, David Icke.
somewhat related to football.
Yeah,
Didn't he play football at some point?
He was a goalkeeper, yeah.
For Chelsea, didn't he? I think.
And then came out and said he was
Chelsea.
the son of God. Like,
That explains a lot.
Jesus saves.
Let me tell you, no Chelsea goalkeeper is the son of God. That's never going to happen. We don't live in that universe.
Next subject.
It's difficult to difficult to know what to talk about on this pod because we're
we've had no
slap
haven't
at the end of in the middle of an international break, and nobody wants to talk about fucking England.
No, England sucks. Don't know, really.
One thing I did see from that England game was that, regardless of the fact we had like 19 right backs in the squad, Jadon Sancho finished that game at right back. Southgate's got absolutely no idea what he's doing, is he?
No. He'll be gone soon, I think. I don't think he's long for this position.
Yeah,
I'm going to
big
say long
Sam
for
back.
this world, but it's already dark.
He served his time.
I think they'll think it's too late, won't they? I think they'll bottle it. I don't think they'll sack him.
Sack him. I don't really care. Like I hate international football.
Yep.
It's
Especially
so
now that
boring.
everybody's getting injured.
Yeah.
So because Alioski's injured, isn't he? So
Yeah, I think Al's got a knock and all, didn't he, as well?
Christ.
It was his arm. I think he's all right.
Okay. It's took a cast.
Yeah. He managed to put on the captain's armband, so it can't hurt that much.
He's going to get his 200th appearance as well against Arsenal. Stuart Duncan.
Okay, 200.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Phillips is on
A
186.
select club.
Not bad.
Where's stats when you immediately need to know every single Leeds United player who's played at least 200 games?
Alioski's got 140 appearances. Surely he's not played that many games for us, has he?
Yeah.
140.
Fucking hell.
Came in the Christensen season.
Oh,
so
yeah, 4
he's-
seasons now.
Yeah.
No wonder my nerves are shook.
Jake Harrison's about to hit 100 as well.
We've got a special guest who is knocking on the door. So knock. Come in, Ewan. So we are now joined by Ewan Metcalf. Do I say your full name? I've said it now. Everybody knows you. Where do you live? You got GPS tracking.
Do you want my bank account and sort code details?
If you could microchip your brain and send us the coordinates, that'd be great.
Sure, not a problem. But yeah, you were Metcalf. That's it. It's as good as it gets.
Very nice and confident as well. And Ewan, you. Here
we go.
No. So your business is Iconsult, is that right? And you're volunteering at
You can
Slung
say it all
Low.
in. Have you got what?
Have I got everything? Ewan, where are you from? Who are you? Why are you here?
What's your name? Where do you come from? It's got lovely hair.
Ewan Metcalf, come on down.
Calm down. Yeah, owner, founder of. It's just Iconsult. You can say it normally if you want, Adonis, or you can go Iconsult. It's up to you. Iconsult Yorkshire Limited and Icon Group or Icon Training have predominantly involved in social value for construction businesses at the moment, training, education, and social value mission. But I also through that work got involved with Slung Low, who are a sort of theatre company, really, community interest company based, charity based in Holbeck, right near the football ground in one of the oldest. Yeah, I think it's the oldest still working men's club or still open working men's club in England.
Nice.
But it's not kind of just that anymore. They do a lot of charity work and community work and community college, a cultural college where they do lots of courses for local people. And more recently, since the lockdown in March, started to provide food for families through a community food bank based in the Working Men's Club there. And I volunteer along with lots of other brilliant people to keep that ticking over and deliver food parcels to families and pack up the food and make sure everything gets out in a timely fashion, which is a bloody big job.
Nice.
250 to 300 a week, I think, at the moment, parcels.
Yeah.
I think it's possibly more now. And there's also walk-ins as well. So I think it's 250 deliveries and probably 50 to 100 people just turning up and taking packages away. Yeah. So pretty amazing piece of work in obviously the heartland of Ellen Road, where there's also multi-million-pound football players going to work every day and there's no families. surrounding the stadium and that kind of working class area of Leeds, and it's a really humbling and brilliant thing to do, but also quite eye opening, and at a time where sometimes you feel a bit sorry for yourself because you can't go to the pub twice a week or go watch Leeds or whatever. You see some things that really make you quite thankful for the things you have got. And I guess that's where that conversation started, didn't it, Donny, with our plan around the toys and how that might link in with what we're doing over in Holbeck.
Yeah, so I mean, it would go right back to the genesis of the Peacock when I was talking to Laura Kenny of Jublo, and we were talking about trying to have some sort of community aspect, not just doing this for a vanity project or self-congratulatory. Thinking that we're somehow important to the world, but just try to or interesting to listen to. but just try to give something back to the community and try and be a part of it. And I think like Ewan's been part of the group that is behind this podcast that helps create the content for it. And I think it was Barney Stuart who also had an idea of having some kind of secret Santa, but it was you, Ewan, right, who kind of came up with the idea on your parcel delivery round. So can you tell us all about this project, All Elves Aren't We?
Jeez, it's grown into quite a thing over the last week, hasn't it? It's become a bit of a monster. So I guess, again, the idea was, when we're delivering food parcels around Holbeck, there's a lot of young kids come to the door with like their little rompers on and, help the mums and dads and families to unpack those kind of food parcels that we deliver. And it just set me thinking that, if people are kind of, I had a conversation with a girl at the door, and she was unloading the crates and the bags that we give. And she said, it was on about Christmas and the little one was buzzing about, there's two little ones buzzing about. And I sort of said, how are you going to manage at Christmas and so on? And she sort of said, I don't know, because I ain't got a credit card or anything. So it's all going to be online if we don't get, out of lockdown. And I don't have any ways of paying for stuff. And it was just a really, light conversation like that. And, as always with these people, it's phenomenal because they've always got a smile on their face and they're sort of taking everything in their stride. And it's quite a humbling experience, as I say. But she was genuinely concerned about how she was going to be able to get Christmas presents and, get something for her kids. So I guess when that concept came to light, it just seemed an obvious fit, didn't it? That you've got these people potentially stuck in their homes, not a lot of spare cash knocking about the house, kids knocking about who every young person should look forward to Christmas and look forward to opening the presents on Christmas Day. But that's not the reality, is it? So that's where that sort of spark came about. And then from those small acorns, that sort of the beginning of an idea, really, birth of an idea. I guess me and you and others on the podcast started to talk about how that might come to fruition, and that has taken the shape of a Just Giving page that we've kind of put together in partnership with Slung Low, to not just collect money but also donations of toys. And you've done some brilliant work, Donny, on putting together a list of potential toys for different age group, different genders, so that we've got a real range for the kids that we're going to drop these presents off to.
Yeah.
I think also a local primary school that we work with, Ingram Road Primary School, which is again on the cusp of the stadium and right in the heart of Holbeck, in the recreation estate. They sort of had been making noises that probably within each year group there's about 30 to 40 young children that are potentially going to be hit by that same issue of not being able to receive something on Christmas Day, which is heartbreaking. So we sort of joined up with them, and Alan's already got a link with them. I've got a link to Ingram Road. We deliver some digital learning to some parents from that school as well. So once again, we just scaled it up, I guess, to say, look, we can probably do a little bit more. Let's get these kids included in that and deliver somewhere in the region of about 150 presents in that kind of final food parcel delivery that we do around the 18th, or week commencing the sort of 14th of December. Let's get those presents delivered and give the kids something to open on Christmas Day. It'd be amazing. And for all the good work that all of us have done, that'll be the sort of measure of whether we're successful, won't it? And the smiles, it won't be. It'd be the smiles that make us happy, won't it? And be the measure of our success is a young kid smiling because they've got a present to open, which will be phenomenal. And
it's amazing.
Ross, Alex, you've been quiet during this interview.
Just in awe. It's incredible, really. Like, it's just such not a selfless thing to do, but such a great thing to do. Just to see that, like, the kids are not going to have anything for Christmas, and then just get something is better than having loads of shit that they don't want, or they just get stuff for stuff's sake. Like, just to have something is just amazing.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is, how do people get involved? Then,
yeah,
how do our one listener get involved?
How does he do it?
That one listener's not going to make a right lot of difference. Well,
depends how rich he is.
I think, listen, there's a whole range of ways you can help, and it's not always about money, is it? And people themselves might be struggling at the moment with the circumstances of the lockdown and work and being furloughed or being made redundant. Obviously, we want people to donate to the Just Giving page. If you want to, rather than give money, give it a present, maybe something that hasn't been used or has been in a box, or something that could be construed as secondhand but will be equally as beautiful for that young person to open on Christmas Day. They don't know where it's coming from. To donate presents to the Slung Low. All this information is on the Just Giving page, and is on some of the collateral that we've produced. But to be able to donate presents to the Slung Low Club in Holbeck, or the Holbeck Club, Slung Low at Holbeck, I guess that the other thing is time. I guess there's going to be a call to arms at some point in the boys where, if we get all these presents, suddenly somebody's going to have to wrap these things, and believe me, see me wrap anything.
You're bad now, you'll be good by the end of it.
Exactly. Might be my chance, my calling to get good at wrapping presents. But you know what? The main thing is that you could go along to the Holbeck and help wrap presents and get stuff ready. There might be a call to arms for people delivering those presents out to those communities. So listen, it's about getting involved any way you can. Give time, money, donate presents. There's loads of different ways you can get involved, and anything is valuable at this stage, and we take it open hand.
I think shout out to Jack Johnson and his driver / dad Gareth, who's already donated his time to wrap presents or be a delivery driver. So I think that's really good that people are already getting involved. So if you do want to get involved, if you just interact with us on Twitter, we'll point you in the right direction.
Exactly. And we're going to have an army of people. We've got my missus is learning partnerships are involved. They've got volunteers, people who are on furlough who can't work, but they're going to come and wrap presents. There's a whole range. People from CEG, the people I work in partnership with at the Forging Futures campus and at Kirkstall Forge, massive landowner developer, global landowner developer. Their staff are going to come along and get involved in wrapping presents. We've got an army of folk rocking up saying they want to help and get involved. So listen, the one thing we won't be short of in a city like Leeds is people who want to give and do a bit and give back and help. So but obviously there's a message around giving and give some money. I don't want to do my what's it called? The guy out of the Boomtown Rats.
Give us your fucking money.
Yeah, give us your fucking money. I know that's dangerous, like doing impersonations of.
Not on this podcast, you're fine.
Like a track record of fucking them up, but.
Yes, shout out to the 12 people who've already donated. 16% of our target of £1,500. We've already got £250, and thank you very much for that. I think it's been a very difficult year, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't expect. This is the 10th. This is the 9th week we've been doing it. This is the 10th main cast, and every single week on the weekly roundup at the start of the show, I've had to mention somebody who's died, some celebrity or whatever. And the political news of it has just been insane. I've never really particularly enjoyed politics from either side of any of the countries that I've lived in, but this year it just seems like it's gone to a different level, and I feel like this year it's just been incredibly hard for everybody. I mean, when you get politicians voting against
Feeding kids.
It is brought it home to me that it's up to us. We can't rely on anybody else now. We've got to come together as a community, and we've got to do it ourselves because the politicians aren't going to do it. So I'm glad that maybe something good has come out of it, that some community initiative, and that we can be a part of that. I'm extremely proud, and it's given me an outlet for that feeling, to turn that feeling of feeling so bad about the world and just pouring that energy into action, converting it into something that's beneficial. Yeah. Because it's been eating me up inside all year, to be honest.
Hang on a minute. That's a very serious point, but I'm just gone a bit there.
If you're listening, Ewan's pulled out.
Didn't expect to come on here and have you crying, Danny. What's going on?
I'm sorry.
It's all right, it's good to cry. Get it all out. Do you know what, though? It's always been about that. It's never been about governments and politics. The minute you start relying on those folk, I don't want to get all soapboxy, but it's always been about community action, you know?
Yeah.
It's always been about people making the difference. And when you start listening to the news and you lose hope because of those people, that's when you give up and you start sort of blaming everybody. The best thing to do is do something positive. It makes everybody feel better, and you're doing something you can tangibly look at and think, I've done something amazing. I'm fortunate to have a job where I do that every day. I see kids turn their lives around, getting kids into work in the construction industry from a pretty poor start sometimes. So I'm blessed, really. I'm not just paid in coins, I'm paid in smiles. Like I say, I'm paid in other things. It's a beautiful position to be in. But I volunteered at that food bank because I felt like it was something to do in the city to put back in a community that was going to be really hit hard by what was going on. And it's still the highlight of my week. And I've got a business to run. It's quite tough now because I'm a people person. I like to be out there doing what I do. And it's kind of working from home is a bit depressing in it sometimes, and a bit samey and a bit, thankless. So to get out there every week and do that and see other people, who are in quite difficult circumstances, smiling back at you and being grateful and humble and appreciative for what you do is it's a beautiful thing to be able to do. And put that, this is just an extension of that for me, boys. It's something else we're going to do to put back. And again, like you just described there eloquently enough, Donny, it makes you feel wonderful. It's doing something brilliant. And it's not sitting back waiting for somebody else to come along and feather your nest for you. We're cracking on with it, aren't we? And we haven't waited for anybody to do it for us. We've got on with it and done it ourselves with people power, and that's what's going to make the world a better place ultimately going forward. Trump's going anyway, so at least we've got some positive.
Is he?
Well, yeah, maybe not. Hopefully kicking and screaming, and we get to watch that on pay-per-view. I'll pay for that.
I definitely would. If Premier League want to charge me $14.95 to watch him get kicked out of the White House, I'll pay it all day.
Yeah,
long.
There we go. Cage match between Biden and Trump. Winner takes all.
Yeah. All proceeds to All Elves Aren't We? Yeah.
So that was All Elves Aren't We? And you can find us at All Elves Aren't We on Twitter. And failing that, you can also check out the Roaring Peacock on Twitter, and you'll find All Elves Aren't We through there. So Ewan, you're not just a charitable man, you're also a Leeds fan.
Yeah.
You want to talk a bit about Leeds? Because we probably should do that at some point on this podcast.
During this podcast.
We've not talked about Leeds yet today.
No. Danny Mills has been talking. Do you want to hear what Danny Mills has been saying?
Yeah. Go on. It's probably bullshit. Go on.
He's pinpointed Leeds' transfer mistake in the summer. We didn't sign Joe Hart, apparently. That's our biggest transfer mistake.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Cheers, Danny. Thanks for that. More from Danny next week.
Do you reckon newspapers ring up and go, Mr. Mills, what? Can you just give us a quote on Leeds?
This is for the fourthofficial.net. I mean, Danny will literally talk to fucking anyone. Can we try and call it?
It's like those grids.
50 quid.
Those grids where it says, what is your vampire name? And then there's a block that says, if your first letter is this, then it's count or whatever.
No, it's like this. All right, yeah, I'll give you a statement. Who do you want the statement on? Hang on. Leeds' transfer mistake was
exactly. Yeah,
not buying.
Yeah, But yeah, so Rodrigo's
Joe
back. Rodrigo's
It's
back
really
on the sounds of
obscure.
it.
It's a really, really obscure name, isn't it? Joe Hart.
Yeah.
Like Joe Hart's really the one who could have done
Who
it
signed
for us.
Joe Hart in the end? Who does he play for now?
Nobody. It's that big a
Free
mistake.
agent, isn't he?
Nobody else has done it either.
So, Ewan, you've been
Yes.
a Leeds fan since the 80s, no?
About 5 minutes ago when I joined this podcast.
No, there we go.
Yeah, I think the first game, 1980, Leeds Liverpool at Ellen Road. Yeah,
Nice.
but sort of dipped in and out. I played a lot as a kid and sort of not followed any team really because I wasn't originally from Leeds. But then got into Leeds, a bit later when I started going to watch them regularly when I was about 12, 13. I got, really, really into the club and went home and away through the beautiful 80s, the myth that was the 80s. If everybody who said they were there in the 80s was there, we should have been having crowds of about 60,000. But yeah, I was there through all that home and away quite a lot of weeks and enjoyed going in the low fields back in the 80s and all the joys that went with that. Getting urinated on and coming home with your shirt ripped off or a bus licked just from being in the crowd, never mind anything else. But it was a brilliant time to be a Leeds fan. Yeah, it was exciting and a bit risky at times, but yeah, I've been watching him since then.
Because that was a real low point, wasn't it? The start of the 80s in terms of like league position. Didn't quite hit the lows of League One, but
I was going to say it's got a lot worse since then. Settled for the lows of the 80s back in 2000 and sort of whatever, 14, 15 even, and I'd settled for the lows of the 80s. The football wasn't great, and obviously it wasn't glamorous, I think that game, that first game, Leeds Liverpool, I mean, Arthur Graham hit the crossbar. That's all I can remember. I think the rest of it was pretty dull, and we were obviously on a bit of a slippery slope then, weren't we? But you've also been through all those brilliant times, being promoted back to the Premier League or League One at the time, Division One. Bournemouth was there at Bournemouth and getting on the pitch at the Bristol Rovers game. Came back from League One. I was there at the Ipswich game where we got relegated to League One and saw grown men, absolutely on their haunches, like crying their eyes out. So that's what football's about. I think for 90% of football fans, it's bloody depressing and disappointing, isn't it? There's only the elites of the world get to celebrate things week in, week out. Most of us find it's character building.
Yeah, it definitely is. I wonder how many times in Leeds United's history that we've turned to each other and gone, you know what, mate, it's not going to get any worse than this. And then it does.
You that keep saying that, Alex. Stop saying it, mate. The thing to say is it's definitely going to get worse than this.
Yeah, it definitely is. This is just the tip of the iceberg, mate.
Exactly. I just tell my children now, listen, this isn't as bad as it's going to get. It's definitely going to get worse.
I'm sure that there's a few very new Leeds fans who've only just become Bielsaites, and all of a sudden we've lost 2 games 4-1 in a row, and they're probably thinking of switching teams already.
That's like,
Yeah, their world's caved in.
Not mine. I've told them they can go live in shed. We put up with it like I back to you go live in shed. There's a pretty decent summer house down the bottom. You can go live in that if you want, and they start following Man City. So they're both well aware of the consequences of making that switch.
It's weird, and it's not a choice. And if you're in Leeds, it's not a choice for you to support Leeds if your parents support Leeds.
Yeah.
I remember there were. You'll probably be listening to this as well. My nephew Dylan. There were a little game when he was probably 5 or 6, I think he won. Who were playing, and it was like a mini game, and the teacher were trying to spice it up and give like Premiership games to names to the teams that they're playing, and his team were Chelsea. And I got a text message off his dad saying, "Can you just stop a meltdown for me?" And just reply to me saying that it's okay for Dylan to play as Chelsea because he thinks that he won't be his uncle anymore. So I text back and said, "No, I won't be Chelsea. If he could play as Chelsea, I'm not. He's not my nephew anymore. No Christmas presents." Yeah, caused a bit of hammer there, but that's what it is. You got to support Leeds or no.
Yeah, I agree. Support your local team or the one your dad supports. It's one or the other, isn't it?
Yeah, no, my dad supported Dundee, so fuck that.
Good choice then. I've noticed as well, we've also got, I don't want to take us off Leeds United for a minute, but I've also noticed, I think, Alex, you've got a hat on tonight, but is this like the podcast haircut? Is there only Donny that's...
Mate, I'm bald as a badger.
That's what I'm saying.
Bald as a right badger.
You know what they say, grass don't grow on a busy street. It was like,
no, it doesn't, is it?
3 for the price of 1, aren't we, boys?
Yeah, it's only Donny that's stealing the hair at the minute.
I think we should do a Right Said Fred tribute act at Christmas.
You all come as Danny Mills to Halloween.
With big placard saying you should have signed.
Should have signed Joe Hart. He's a dick. He's an absolute dick, that guy. Shit player as well, as we saw in that rewatch when we rewatched the San Siro game. Shit player.
I thought it was fucking brilliant. That's what they used to sing, didn't it?
Yeah. I think it was ironic.
I remember that too. I don't remember, like, I was a kid at the time, I guess. But I remember loving Danny Mills, and singing that song and not singing the naughty word because my mum was sitting next to me. But feeling very, very cheeky about it, singing it in my bedroom when she wasn't there.
I wish I'd have had that filter when my mum were next to me at Ellen Road. I don't think I did. But she never said out. She was just quite polite about it.
Oh, my mum wouldn't let me swear. No way.
I wasn't allowed to swear outside of Ellen Road.
Understandable.
Fine, isn't it?
But yeah, we live streamed the AC Milan game from 20 years ago.
Oh, I saw, yeah.
On Twitch recently. And
Danny Mills was fucking shit.
He got the song wrong.
Yeah. It's a new song. Yeah.
It was all over the place.
Oh my God.
He was doing.
Never seen anything like it. It was unbelievable. He's tried to clear. It was a long ball over the top. No danger at all, really. And it's coming straight at him. And all he has to do is like control it or chest it or something. And instead, he throws the big left meat stick at it. The left baseball bat.
We've got 2 of them.
His fucking leg. Yeah, his left leg. He swung it and he shanked it so bad. Terrible footballer.
When he said he swung his meat stick at it, I wondered what it was. Completely different game altogether.
I was trying to, like, you know when he ham-fisted, I was trying to give that impression, but it was ham-footed.
Oh, we can't believe he's proper meat sticked. He's that bloke.
He's meat sticked it. He's lamb sticked.
Steve Morrison, that.
Say my mate once took a volley. We were playing. I can't remember who we were playing for. It must have been the White Hart, at top of Beeston Hill. I used to play for the White Hart. One of my best friends, my oldest and dearest friend, once went to hit a volley from a corner and literally did hit it with his meat stick.
Oh,
his real one. Yeah, he actually fell out of his shorts and everything. Though, well, it wasn't just in his shorts meat stick. It was literally dropped out the bottom, and that's like when a deer runs across the road, and you get that flash of tail, and you can't help but notice it. I think virtually everybody on the pitch noticed that, and yeah, it literally bounced off it, and it still didn't go in.
Check that in it. Left foot, right foot, meat stick.
Maybe if he'd been a little bit more excited, he could have got a better direction on it.
Some purchase on it.
Called Dane Beeston, mate. You can't forgive him. You've got to forgive him that one.
Needs to do that Gary Lineker trick. Take a warm bath just before you get on the pitch.
Is that right?
Yeah, he used to do that, and there's a story about him telling Gaza that one time. He says, "Yeah, you just get in just before you go to like loosen your muscles up." And Gaza's like, "Oh, that sounds great." And he was in there for half an hour before the game, and he gets out and he's completely knackered. He's so tired and floppy from sitting in the warm bath for half an hour.
Maybe that's why Lineker shit himself, loosened up his muscles a bit too much.
Yeah, that's probably there's probably something in that.
Yeah,
probably something in the diarrhea as well.
Anyway, Arsenal.
The dirty bastard.
Arsenal
at the weekend. Sunday, 4:30.
Segued perfectly into Arsenal. From Ars to Arsenal, just like
Someone
that.
shitting himself straight to Arsenal.
Yeah, dropping out of his Arsenal.
From meat stick to arse to Arsenal. Here we go.
Speaking of diarrhea, uncontrollable. Our defence. So,
how do you think we're going so far, Ewan? And yeah, You've been around a few more summers and you've seen a few more promotions. So do you think we're doing all right? Or I think a lot of people are panicking.
Panic doesn't help, does it? I think it's. I think we're a bit below par for but it's really hard to say because 2 games ago, like you say, they said we were punching well above. We'd done brilliant. That way, I think there was always a worry that we could concede at any moment. We're going to play that sort of cavalier style. There's going to be consequences, but I didn't anticipate getting thrashed. 4-1 twice, 8 goals in a week. Yeah. So that's a bit depressing. It does make it feels a bit more, panicky, a bit more raw. But I wouldn't worry about it. I think we're going to do that to other teams. Got an ability to strengthen, and we've lost, some quite key players, Rodrigo and Phillips. Still haven't seen Llorente on a pitch, which I hope will help with that defence. Still feel like we might be missing something in midfield a little bit at times. I think I've said it to you before, Donny, that somebody who can really control the pace or just control it a bit more when you're playing that frantic style to help Phillips out a bit. Because I sometimes think, you can't just rely on him week in, week out to sort of protect your back four, can you, and sort of control the game. Not in a league like the Premier League, it's not the Championship. So, but yeah, I think we're probably about par, apart from the last week. I think we were doing brilliant. Really proud of the team, and it's just been a really horrible week, hasn't it, before the international break?
We've got a 7-point gap to West Brom, who are 18th. I mean, I'll be happy with that coming into the season. If there's a 7-point gap between us and relegation, that'll be fine.
Yeah. What do you think the other teams will do down there? Do you think Sheffield United at some point have got to turn it round, have they? But then they just can't win a raffle at the moment.
They'll win a game at some point, but hopefully they don't. It'll be amazing.
Hope there's no Sheffield United fans listening.
If they're out, they can fuck off.
I'm saying. No room for sentiment on here. It's like you say, I'm just looking now. You look at that bottom 3 or 4 and think, as long as the gap keeps, there, then we're all right, aren't we? It's just been the most Leeds thing ever to bloody go up, get promoted, and go back down before any of us get back in the front.
Yep. I said that and I got slagged off for it. Like, he'd been negative. Yeah, but no, that's exactly what had happened. We don't get to see one match of the Premier League. We go down, Bielsa leaves, we get Allardyce in, and that's just that. The next game that we see is fucking long ball over the top. And like Giuseppe Belushi's back.
Steve Morrison is manager.
Allardyce against Pulis football.
Oh man, can you imagine?
Territory. Wow.
It's like you and Ross fighting over a comb, mate.
If you'd have had the conversation a week ago, it'd have been a different conversation, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I wasn't so bothered about the Leicester loss as I was the Palace loss. I think we should have beat Palace. I think we had the strength to do it, but Leicester, I think, I can kind of accept that. I don't think that was a 4-1 game either, but I don't know, 2 in a row, like you say, it kind of makes you a bit like... Oh,
and if it had been 1-0, you probably wouldn't have been both. If it had been both 1-0s, I'd have probably thought, well, these things happen. But to get absolutely battered. And I think we were a bit unlucky in the Palace game, but I thought we were a bit naive as well at times. And, just as you start to get back in the game, there's no way of like controlling the way they play, is there? And sort of being able to hang in a game for 10 and just keep it simple. It's all or nothing, which is what got us here, and we bloody love it, don't we, most of the time. And when it comes off, it's fantastic. But there's times you just look and think, it's like watching my lad's 11-year-old team play. It's like...
where they'll run around in a ball.
Well, no, they're really well organised, and it could be 9-6 every week,
Right.
That's just it, though. I'm willing to accept that. If the alternative is Sam Allardyce style football, or come back to Steve Evans, or any that sort of shit, I don't want that ever again. I know it's going to come at some point because Bielsa's not going to stay forever, but that was so dismal, absolutely dismal. And a couple of hidings fine, but we gave Villa a hiding a few weeks before that, so. Yeah, we'll do that to a few teams this year as well.
It was as depressing as watching England is now.
I would have rather watched England over Steve Evans' Leeds team.
If we ever go back to a period where the owner is refusing to allow the players to eat their scheduled meals and wants to make them pasta and forces them to eat before a game, that's probably when I'll check out and just start supporting Taddy or Geisley. Because I can't go through that again. I cannot take it again.
So we've had some pretty strange pre-match rituals, I guess, in teams I've played for. But snorting vodka, drinking rum, sharing 20 fags between about 3 of you, putting up the nets. But I think Steve Evans might have been watching us for tips, to be honest.
Oh, look at these lads.
Look at that lad being sick behind the goals. He's bloody brilliant.
Shows he's committed.
Look at him swimming in that little river there. Get in!
I didn't know Steve Evans from Northern Ireland.
That was a terrible accent.
Stuart Dallas talking about.
Yeah.
Someone from Dallas or Stuart Dallas?
Could try and do a Scottish accent. It's going to go really badly though, and Phil Hay will never want to come on the show.
Yeah, don't burn us bridge before we get him on there.
I'll save the Scottish accent for when Phil gets on.
Oh, good.
Hey Phil, how you good?
Storming off in fury.
How you good, you wee sod? You eat your porridge and oats.
Well, they're no good if they were any good, Donny.
No, that's it. People would be like, oh.
If you're good at accents, it just won't quite have the same gravitas as you just ruining people's accents like weekly.
It's so bad. It's so fucking bad.
So bad it's good. I like it.
It's so bad. Yeah, why do you even try, you wee little whippersnapper?
You don't need to add little to we. I think it's about that time, boys.
I think we've reached the limit.
Yeah, we've reached the end.
We talked about Arsenal yet. We've done predictions or anything like that. What are you boys saying about Arsenal? I think we've got more chance against Arsenal than we have in Leicester.
Yeah, I'm pretty optimistic about it. I think we showed them in the cup as well what we can do. So
yeah, 2-1 win to Leeds. 2-1 home win.
I think they build up a lot slower, don't they? I think Leicester did us on the break. Leicester, Palace did us a bit on the break with those sort of strong, quick players in midfield. I'm hoping that we might get a bit more, get something out of the game on the weekend.
So
I think giving Bielsa a week to just work on that, I reckon they've been drilled. And people stand off your markers a little bit, don't get so tight, and don't give them too much space.
Arsenal play out from the back, not very successfully at all.
Yeah.
Leno looks like a scared deer in the headlights every time he gets the ball. So I think that will work in our favour. We'll employ that press that we always do, and I think we'll get a couple of goals even just from that, just from winning the ball back high up the pitch.
2 from Bambo.
Yeah, we just need Aubameyang to not have to have an off day, because he's one of those players, the few players in the world who, if he's on his day, there's nothing you can do about it. He just runs through you and puts it in the top corner, and you go, well done, you're very good at this sport, aren't you?
Is that what you say with the score?
Yeah. Congratulations, Pierre.
Really good show.
You are very good. You probably make your parents very proud, don't you?
All those hours of training have paid off, Pierre. Well done, son. I won't be shouting that at the telly, believe me. Literally turn the air blue. Never mind. I know sometimes my kids berate me for the language, and I never swear in front of my children. The only time it's a bad thing, Leeds United, really, because I don't really swear in front of kids. Then I watch Leeds. Remember the Birmingham game last year? Literally,
game.
They left the house. The kids just went out. It was like, I couldn't control myself. I was about to start throwing stuff through the window and wrecking my front room.
There's a couple of holes in the walls from that game, but
2-1 win. I think we'll take it.
Yeah, I'll tell that.
I'm going to go high 3-2 Leeds.
I'm going to go 1-0 with Bamford off his meat stick.
Nice.
Let's hope so.
Off his meat stick.
I cannot wait for Adonis to draw that picture for the next broadcast.
It's just like pixelated, like Japanese pixelation.
It has to be censored. That's for sure. Oh God!
All those hours at school practicing meat sticks, you should come in handy at last.
Imagine the cover we could have had if we weren't talking about all else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bamford with his meat stick like a lightsaber leaping through the air and smashing it into the top corner.
It doesn't go hand in hand with taking kids' presents at Christmas, does it?
No, hand in hand isn't the phrase.
It's like my Freudian slip about delivering MILF in the packages. Suddenly turned into MILFs and Hoes, and it became a rap song, and I turned into Snoop Doggy Dogg. Yeah, how milk can an innocent thing like milk can suddenly turn into something completely filthy.
Yeah, I submitted my address as soon as you said that, and then realised it was a spelling mistake.
It's amazing we had more volunteers in that half an hour before I corrected myself. And that been nearly a year.
There was a. This has all gone very in jerky. There was a description of what goes in the food parcels, which autocorrect changed from milk to MILF. I'm not sure why your autocorrect. Obviously, it thinks that you're more likely to be talking about MILF than milk, but that's understandable.
I'm over 40. You don't drink milk when you're over 40, do you?
You could drink milk from a MILF.
Well, and I don't want to get into your kinks. I don't know what your kinks are like.
That brings us to the end of our podcast.
Yeah,
before we get shut down.
Yeah.
I actually accused. Go on, Donny.
What do I leave in this?
None of it.
It's completely up to you, mate. Good luck.
This is an impossible job at editing this podcast. Impossible.
Actually, when
it's you that's just said that you want to drink milk out of a MILF. I mean, you're giving yourself the job.
It was right there. If it's set up like that, I've got to hit it.
Actually accused Donny today of having a false name as well, just to really endear myself to the gang. When he asked for the charity's bank account and sort code details, I went, "Are you being for real? You want me to ask the charity to provide their bank account and sort code details to a man with a clearly made up name?"
Living in a foreign country,
living abroad with definitely not a real name, asking for your bank account and sort code details. I could just see the papers now.
Yeah. So it's Simon O'Rourke, sort code.
Okay, so if you would like to do something good and help us do something good, then go to the All Elves Aren't We Just Giving page and just give to some children in the LS11 area, brighten up some people's year, which has been particularly horrible. So that was our podcast for this week, and it's a very goodbye from Ewan.
Goodbye.
A very goodbye from Ross.
Very goodbye.
And a very goodbye from Alex.
All scenarios mentioned in this podcast are made up and fake. Goodbye.
That is definitely not said only for legal purposes, but is meant literally. Do you want to give your follower your Twitter tags so people can follow you?
Mine's @SwearTrek.
What?
I just want to give SwearTrek more followers because it's amazing. It's somebody who just texts like GIFs of Star Trek and puts swear words as subtitles. It's brilliant. Just fucking great. Follow them, don't follow me.
I'm looking up as we speak.
Okay. And Ross?
Oh, yeah, at Rossbell1984.
And Ewan?
Oh, I've got that many. So at Ewan Metcalf, Machiavelli is mine, and then particularly for stuff to do with the food banks and work and linking in with the donations and so on, it's at Icon Ltd, Icon Limited, which is obviously iConsult's Twitter page. I've got so few followers because I'm so boring in work that, yeah, anybody wants to follow me and get bored, feel free.
Well, there you go. So go and follow those accounts and get extremely bored. We will see you on the Arsenal match preview, and it's a very goodbye from me. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Most of our stats come from LUFC Stats or LUFC Data on Twitter. You should probably give them a follow as they're more interesting than us. A very special thanks to Adam Elliot, Adam Warner, Barney Stuart Cookie, Ewan and Howard Metcalf, Josh Pearson, Laura, Leon and Rob, The Light Show, and all our family and friends.